Stream's not even up. Let me stop controlling things.
Would you terribly mind if we could send speech docs before commencing with our speeches?
Wait, there's something not
Wait, it's pretty standard, Alexis. It's their standard.
Like Highland refused to send their like 30 analytics they read.
Can y'all put it on my email on there?
Oh, it's not on there.
It's just on my tab, my paradigm.
You didn't get a test email? Was it not Kieran Kelly?
Is that, oh, sorry, I haven't been judging. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is my first round, so I didn't know.
Oh,
Okay,
6, 7,
cool.
8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
Okay,
you're
makes
on the
sense.
email chain.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah.
Your birthday's August 17th?
How'd you know that?
On the email?
Yeah.
That's cool.
My birthday.
I don't-
be live. Please open it.
It's B, but, oh wait, 17.
You got 15.
I personally,
Yes.
I'm not even debating. What do you mean I got 15?
Not gonna lie, I told her novices to join. It's probably all of them. They joined
Where's the Fairmont fam? Come on.
They're all very cool.
The Fairmont fam's in school right now.
Our school's right now leaking, a pipe leak. So
I found out about that.
Did
just
someone
after
see the
my-
comments on R versus Blake's round? It was.
I saw
insane.
that there.
It was like a crime.
Atrocious.
Was there someone commenting on your round?
Oh yeah,
There
did
was one of them where
It was like a crime.
it miss? Are we on stream?
Oh, it's muted?
Oh,
Wait, are we
Yeah.
on stream or?
alright, we're good to start.
Did I don't think I got it.
No.
we tenderly and patiently await.
Is this different emails?
I mean, I got your test. So I'm not gonna say it.
Alright, just some doc. Wait, live stream's ready, right? Okay. Doc was like,
Can we keep this muted?
He's about to unmute.
I think it's because it's winter.
Perhaps.
This isn't Durham.
Everyone good?
Yes.
If everyone's ready, my time will begin now. We from Siemens RAM, the global RAM shortage jeopardizing the climate goals. DIN 24 explains. Safely increasing the demand for rares, there will see a supply shortage, space insufficient supply into the high demand scenarios. However, the absolute small and abundance of most crucial RAMs in the black connection holding back money after 24. Small is our emerging hidden gem, the vast potential of rares covering 85% story, one of the highest goals in the stage for green energy revolution discovered potentially cost small in the turn the major competitive lithium market challenging dominant players like China realizing potential requires significant investment in infrastructure and recognized tasks, complicates the ability to interact international investment, secure funding for large scale projects, impact is friendly climate change, even small increase in lithium production, offset carbon emission in the long term X20. For every single ton of lithium batteries using lithium using batteries, it would displace 190,000 tons of CO2. Action action appears 23 months. Every 0.1 degree of warming causes 100 million deaths. Moreover, climate change events that cause extinct expect to 19. By 2050, ice vanishes, droughts kill the Amazon, influenza, and feedback with deadly conditions, conflict over resource, cold, nuclear war, likely is the likely result is the end of human civilization. C2's governance. Small and suffering from violence and not causing enforcement as election proved without signal recognition, small as independence for election strategy, but more of these strikes, the less small and battling divided, took small and nationalism and feel tension in the region is luckily recognition, solve small as domestic challenge and small as for wars, mostly 121 gives two provides 2 warrants 1. Realizing independence from the Magashi will be in minds and governing a dramatic progression because it leads in inability to mediate the specter of federal state seeking autonomy can also joke from their absorption with political battle. Second, Somali nationalism as a long running source of tension and independence Somali undermine the red tendency by making a realization more likely to maintaining Somali power and legitimacy. I reckon Yemen Somali 21. Recognition has been the defining feature stated in Iraq and Yemen interactional recognition because we have gained right to representative population and gain legitimacy among the domestic constituted by claiming they have supported international players that absent action violence cascades Carolina 23. Escalating fighting around the election of representative dangerous disability across the corner after growing violence and risk of full war in the United for water clan confrontation disability causes great power moment. Element 24. Come drawn the Red States, which can underwater since for security. U.S., China, EU have a military presence in the region. Iran and Russia enter the affair of the region because they battle for disrupting trade and reviving humans. Whose great war. Good nuclear is how much 18 fights out to go nuclear very high. China's nuclear weapons in the conventional military making difficult to attack one without attacking the other. U.S. military so campaign targeting China's conventional forces threaten the Chinese leaders to use nuclear weapons while they're still able to. Nuclear force generate pressure to escalate. Moreover, this strong cause 16 car 23. A great power accident measures understanding could escalate tension across leaders to fight rather than negotiate nuclear weapons would be used to costing winter reducing resilience to reach extinction levels. Security trafficking. Boston conflicts making Horn of Africa trafficking hub costs not 24 by the number of rounds from the Horn of Africa has tripled in recent years, increasing the risk of human trafficking. August 17 further that money migrants have been infiltrating and exploded in transit countries. Moreover, with their rise in recent years, and the region plays a triple role in a source of transit and destination for victims of trafficking. Specifically, traffickers smuggle Somali women to destinations in West Asia. Lack of recognition is being Somalia cannot get the technical assistance and intelligence of being a hub enforcement chapter 11. Not recognition from Somalian can stands outside the mechanism for regulating the flows of people and Somaliland by the National Departure Board for trafficking people in the Arabian Peninsula. Somalia's denied membership Interpol mechanism for chasing criminal and cross-national crime in the region. Interpol breaks up and deters criminal networks assisting traffic people. Also 23. Interpol's coming human trafficking, rescuing victims by raising awareness, identifying victims, disrupting trafficking networks. Interpol recognized the need to facilitate interstate cooperation. Moreover, 9.2 million people in Africa endure modern slavery. Interpol actively enhances the capacity of stakeholders in Africa, including security, governance, and legal sectors. The impact of intergenerational trauma is older than 17 funds. Since depression and PTSD requires 70% of women survivors. Contention for SLOCs, also known as sea lions communication. Breastfeeding surgery imposed imminent risk of SLOCs right now. 724 West Red Seas, a major activity connecting cables to Europe to West Asia, Africa. Turkey put us at risk right now. Houthis connecting cables connecting all regions of the world. Recognizing Somaliland enables seizing assets. Rapper 10 finds 8 recognition. Somaliland strengthening accountability and governance in the regions that are piracy infected institutions. Follow the illicit flows of money with international support of legislation. Piracy fueled and assets and bank accounts can be seized. Moreover, countries are waiting for the AU, but for they recognize Somaliland as SWOT 41 finds the AU is lead the process of result in Somaliland says the AU has the legitimacy to address the issue authoritatively in the eyes of the international community. Moreover, independently enables Israel cooperation. Development 24. Israel is facing the Somaliland to attack the Houthi groups, recognize Somalia as an independent state, enhancing national security location in the Horn of Africa, reach of strategic importance because it's situated in the entrance of Straits and Red Sea focal point to the Houthi attacks there at the moment. Locks collapse, fueling this nuclear miscalculation and previously like Part 16. Lost communication for minutes can be catastrophic. Is unable to decode message. The aggressor can use coordinated attacks on cables to cut sensitive information. Prevent nuclear armed opponent from actually monitoring their weapons. The country targeted could initiate a preemptive strike. Moreover, crossings Emily and Claire from C2 on great power drawing from instability within the region and great power war causing extinction.
Cool. Okay. Case has built. Case is attached on the chain. Let me know, everyone. Yeah. That'll be a good start. Good.
Let me just open it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
Are you ready?
good.
Contention one is basic. Somaliland is offering a burger base of recognition Trump news focused on last month. Somaliland is offered the USA military base in return it seeks recognition. Trump show interest recognition will give the USA badge in the Red Sea. Affirming kills us a lack of AU recognition drives into American grammar 22. Somaliland lobbied the US to recognize independence. They're doing a rundown with the AU in their home region to get what they can't locally. This maintains US presence in Africa and solves miscalculation but is unsustainable at 22. Djibouti times China and Russia make it unsuitable lawmakers propose Somaliland alternative. Chinese presence is 6 miles from US. Fears of the confrontation are increasing. China's base point lasers at US planes. China's influence Djibouti allow pressure on authorities to ask the US to remove the base. That's key to counter Chinese hedge, ensures naval efficiency and economic self-power from Survey 21. Djibouti and Somaliland is among Earth's most important American presence in Somaliland, hedging as the U.S. continuing to deter Djibouti. This trade is the quickest route for the 6th Fleet and 5th Fleet of the Maritime Gateway and under Chinese influence. Somaliland complicate BRI. Africa's key, its largest voting block critical minerals and most human capital in 1923. Africa's lobbies for major power according to the largest block of EU members, 23% of GA. Africa's resource wealth has taken importance in alternative energy and production of technological innovation. Oil reserves become important as countries diversify. The Red Sea constitutes 10% of global trade. Africa is home to the fastest growing youth population. Important future markets, the ozone population, Asia, West Africa, migratory flows. Economic activity slash Kim 19. Wars like when hegemonic declining needs preventive war means of eliminating challengers. Washington makes every effort to deter China's challenge as US fear about China overtaking US hedge conflict between the two is likely. Extinction, Claire 23. Fear of war see nukes and other destructive tech without extinction. Likelihood and severity makes this the most pressing problem. Weapons with versatile arsenals, accidents, or misunderstandings, spark conflict, escalates tension, cause leaders to fight. Such a war could lead to extinction through famine by nuclear winter or reducing resilience enough that something else like pandemic would reach extinction. Nukes are complemented by other improved missiles, planes, subs, and satellites with potential to cause global catastrophe. Potential is also well. The new mission conference of Somalia state failure following potential withdrawal, but it's fragile. Up until last month, the force of Somalia end of December 31st. The federal government will collapse since the new mission is certain that the risk is mitigated. Yet, considering the mission will operate as its president, the government might fall. However, Somalia disrupts the forces in anger and gets sidetracked by tensions with African states close to Burma until 24. A deal under the agreement of Ethiopia to recognize Somalia and Somali authorities threatened to expel Ethiopian troops, helping them fight al-Shabaab. The contracts to distract Mogadishu from war. Its quarrel allowed al-Shabaab to regain territory. The dispute delayed the replacement of 80 force to fight along the Somali military. That's critical. Somalia is relying on outside help funding to fight the military and low morale. Williams 24. They played a vital role against Al-Shabaab, remain dependent on internal assistance. The army require more funding than the government can afford alone. And an African division withdrawal would take pressure off, enabling more attacks on the army. Somalia's bickering leaders failed to clarify structures between the government and the country's member states. Al-Shabaab forces cohesive. Al-Shabaab maintain higher levels of confidence. Degrading Al-Shabaab is key to prevent another 9/11 SAR 24. The government has intensified operations with international partners, degrading Al-Shabaab with the U.S. security agents of the group demonstrated intent to attack the U.S. homeland. They have implemented Al-Shabaab plot in 2019, trying to breach a cockpit and export targets in the U.S. This plot indicate Al-Shabaab has capability and intent to strike inside the U.S. America's taking inside of the ball. GBC comes first. Level 21. Shooting competition of terror is not the primary concern of U.S. security. Competition side economic. The nation faces economic challenges by caused by COVID and for needs of climate change, which demand investment at a time of shrinking budgets. Trump psychology ensures nuclear retaliation. Says in Total 16. Trump would experience a lower chances of injury. Personalities not have opposite towards emergency. Trump would exhibit rage and impulsivity, depend on destroying the terrorists, and then skin malignant narcissist leaves no slight unavenged. A 9/11 attack on U.S. soil would mean restraints to WMD would be swept aside. Public opinion, barriers including public opinion would be low. That causes extinction per player. Launching the nuke then caused the nuclear winter that kills them all. That's good. Are you good for cross?
Yeah, one standard.
Whatever you would like.
Stand.
Okay.
Okay. Since let's go first, kind of the first question goes.
Sure.
Okay. Going to your evidence regarding C2 on terror. Let's go to the evidence specifically saying it's going to expel Ethiopian troops. What is it referencing?
Sure. When Ethiopia had its own year, Somalia did not like that, and because Somalia did not like that, they threatened to expel Ethiopian troops that were helping them fight Al-Shabaab.
Yeah.
Independently, we would also make. Don't worry.
Okay.
We're also making the analysis that when they have, like, for example, the AU, right? The AU recognizes Somaliland. They have to fight against that. They have to show that they're displeasure with that, and that also causes a displacement of AU forces, and distraction causes them.
Which piece of evidence is the analysis you submitted?
So just kidding, not Williams. The Phillips 24 evidence. Do you mind if I get a question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about SLOCs, aka cables. All right, so why do pirates care about the cables?
It's not specifically pirates, it's the Houthis.
Why do the Houthis care about the cables? Also, wait a second. If your argument is about the Houthis, your Robert 10 evidence, which is your solvency, says that you follow the money that pirates make. How does that impact the Houthis?
It's both. One, the Houthis technically are a piracy group, but it's not like it's different than like the average piracy group you like view within Somaliland in terms of the resources, because they do have a lot of resources.
Houthis have been attacking for a while
Can I finish,
now.
please? Which is
Why hasn't it triggered?
Yeah, sure. One, we'd say there's our uniqueness evidence finds that the SLOCs that are attacking right now is more dangerous than ever. But more importantly is the fact that, unlike the SLOCs question specifically, why do they target them, which was the initial question, the reason why they target them is to create like confusion, like distraught among other groups. And the second one is that they don't even mean to do it, they drag their anchor.
So 24 is from, what month is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. April 16th last year.
Sure, if you read,
How come that hasn't triggered yet?
sure, we'd say that the specific like cable hasn't been cut, but like we'd say it's very likely now.
Have
But, like,
they been cutting cables right now?
No.
They
not-
have been
They
cutting
they've been
cables, but
they have been cutting them, but just not the important ones. But the closer
Wait,
they
you
get,
just said that they are.
no, they're not cutting the key cables right now. They're
What
cutting
are the key cables?
the ones that like connect all points of the world
What are the key cables? Where are they?
in the Red Sea.
Where in the Red Sea?
I don't know the Red Sea geography by
About
heart, but
Israel Cup, the Feldman 24 evidence. Where does it say the word Israel?
I'm sure you can tell me.
Well, it doesn't.
Sure, you can make this contestant speech. We'll just make the argument it does, and then
We'll
probably
make the argument it does.
and
You
then
wanna
later
pull up?
in the argument, our article also does. Can I have a
Okay,
question
fine.
there?
So just to clear, oh, just
Wait,
kidding.
got a
it does say
question.
Israel.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, it's fine though. I'll take a question.
Yeah.
Let's go on to C1 on basing.
yes.
I'll ask you the same question. Why haven't
Okay.
we seen your impact trigger despite the evidence being from 2019? Like, and we have.
Oh, yeah, the Lattice
Ethiopia.
21 evidence is pretty good on answering this question. It says that in the time of 2019, we were focusing on counterterrorism efforts. Wait, don't worry, I'm getting there,
Sure,
right? The 2019 evidence, sorry, not the 2019 example is talking about when the FBI was able to thwart the plot because we had adequate investment into counterterrorism efforts. We don't have that
Wait,
now,
I'm not-
that's cross.
Wait, yeah. That's about yours. Okay, Brian, starting now.
Well, that was 35 seconds.
Oh, okay. When you with it?
I'll send it off. Responses to C1 are all analytics.
Ooh, beautiful. I look forward to the analytical answers. I was trying to make alliteration, but it didn't.
That was not sorry. Most of the alliteration.
Which one? There. Oh. Wait, we are awaiting with great patience, but great haste. Jeez,
Like command delete.
they call me a okay, there we go. Sorry, I just have to open it.
Okay, cool. So,
Just done our-
Yeah.
Lovely. Wait, not lovely, I got it. Okay, now you can have it.
All right, everybody good?
wait 1 second. We're good now.
On basis, first, there's no reason why EU recognition causes them to leave the US. So the US still has a bunch of power, which means that the Somalians still want the US to recognize them. But second, it's not unique. You can't get bases. The US can't get bases right now, even if Trump wants it. There's a bunch of people in Congress. They'll just tell you like Trump could. There's a bunch of Republicans in Congress who listen to Trump. No, it's only a one-person majority. Only one person needs to think that Somalians shouldn't be recognized for that to happen. But third, turn it. If recognition makes it more politically viable for the US to actually do stuff in Somalia. But fourth, turn it. If the US pulls out of Djibouti, China will get more power because China has full control of Djibouti now and has more control of the sea. Then on their uniqueness evidence is really bad. It just says that Somaliland is mulling over a deal. It doesn't say that the US will accept it, which means that you assume they don't. But second, they tell you the lack of EU recognition drives second, they tell you that the US president will solve miscalc. No, we tell you that when the US president has more presence in Africa, that's more likely to cause miscalc because that means there's more bases and there's going to be more opportunities for escalation. Third, they tell you that Somaliland will ensure naval efficiency, but no, we tell you that it's definitely not true because Somaliland doesn't actually have enough access and it's too war torn and just causes the US to get drawn into other conflicts. But fourth, we tell you that the 29 other military bases in Africa definitely solve for all of this, which means that this case doesn't matter. On terror. First, non-unique current counter-terror fails. DW24. Available funds have yet to be commensurate with the immensely Africa's peace and security challenge. Often, the EU have to contribute $375 million, 61.5% of the friend's current capacity. But second, non-unique, the terrorism problem is only getting worse right now. Doing nothing is not an option. Web 24. Al-Shabaab has regrouped and made significant gains. MOU, influx of financial capital and surge in recruiting. A lack of cooperation undermines counter-terror for the fertile ground for Al-Shabaab to gain footing in its effort to destabilize the Horn of Africa. On the link, first term, recognizing with like U.S. presence. June 23. Same form dismisses U.S. will not recognize Somaliland until the EU does so. U.S. presence will solve terror. Moon 17. U.S.-led efforts in the Africa DoD maintains expert and counterterrorism, help partners build their own capabilities, expand capacity to fight these terrorist organizations. But second, recognition allows security coordination against terrorism and fosters cooperation with Somalia over Al-Shabaab. Coleman 14. Independent state lack of recognition, major impediment to foreign assistance, grants good governance fighting terror. The recognition should continue its dialogue through Somalia. This turn outweighs because it allows cooperation with Somalia over all terror across Africa instead of just Ethiopian troops in one region. But third, EU recognition is vital to curbing revenge of Somali claims. Bill 24. Border disputes are not deemed unlawful under international law. State recognition is not subject to legal consequences. Recognition of Somaliland and to the Great Somali Plan, bringing about peace and Horn of Africa. EU should make a wise choice. Somalilanders have their own unique identity and made the criteria for people to exercise self-determination, decolonization, support Somaliland's authorities would never contact about union breaches treaty law, even if the union did the constitute value here violation of the treaty allowed North to terminate. Cut the card there. That means that the term means that even if that recognizing Somaliland is better because it means that you're going to have better negotiation. Fourth turn often worsens terrorism. Wallhead 24. EU missions in the country are being exploited by others. Patent their administration have not achieved their mandates anywhere. Simply enjoy exploited, receive donor money as a patent their administration at the expense of Somali people. This always a problem because the Awesome are the one Wallhead index for being paid off. And then we tell you that Awesome also probably trades off from other better counter-terror missions. So you should actually try to make sure that the Ethiopia anti-terror support goes out, which is what their evidence is about, in order to make sure that there's no bad terror. But fifth turn, the athletes with the West Belt bolster cut that. But six, we tell you you can six, we tell you you can turn it again because when you affirm that means that Somaliland has control of the ports and that'll allow them to better stop piracy, which means that they have less funding for Al Shabaab, so Al Shabaab is able to operate less. And then turn it again because when you affirm that means that all actually that's fine.
All is well.
I read everything on the doc.
Except
Except the last card.
all is well. I remembered. Okay.
Can you show me a mark?
No. Me and Willie are gonna run a little. Okay.
No, it was already there about
At 2:15.
right 2:10.
Hey, let's go like
2:10. We'll take 2:10.
Yeah.
Mine was a little.
okay. We all have eager fingers. Okay. Round 5 versus
Sorry, Gabe.
be not afraid. Okay, doc is sent for Willie from me.
Okay.
And yeah. Or magenta.
All right, everyone good?
I think I've not gotten it. Yeah. Alright, I got it.
All right, everyone good?
Yep.
Negative. So I'm basing the third and fourth response are double turn affirming laws of base, which means that Djibouti pullout happens because they can go to Somaliland. And for the fourth response, that's bad because US shouldn't pull out to the point where that's where they're double turning themselves. Pretty easy, clean to place the vote. And they can also kick out their own case here because they tell that Somaliland doesn't have an important coastline. Guess what? That means that you can't solve for Slox and the Ghost of Aden. And they see that we have 29 other bases, which all just solves the Interpol stuff because they can just go there, and also means that you can use these other bases to solve back the Slox stuff, which means that they literally just took out their own case. Then on Al Shabaab, you're voting here first day. Group 3 uniqueness claim, they tell you that right now it's failing. However, the Roberts sentence is dropped, post-haste by 2 months.
assumes the funding gaps and assumes the shortfalls and tell you that right now they are still on the brink. It is sufficient to solve. It is not perfect, but it is still sufficient. You're looking at Robertson because it is 2 months more recent and assumes all of this. Then they show that the U.S. solves. However, they kick themselves up this turn too because they told you above that there's going to be annoying congressmen who don't want to recognize Somaliland. Then they tell you that coordination is going to happen. However, we would say that Somaliland isn't really on good terms with Somalia. The Phillips Seven should dictate this claim. It is 10 years more recent than theirs and looks at recent tensions that have escalated far better than theirs. Theirs is largely speculative. Then the bill evidence just has no implication. It just broadly asserts that Somaliland should be a country without the mention of the word terror anywhere. Then fifth, they talk about trade-off. This is extremely vague and nebulous. One, what other programs are there? And B, we would say that there's no distinction as to why they wouldn't get kicked out as well. Then on piracy, one, or just broadly on all the terms, uniqueness, control the direction link. If you buy the Robertson episode, which is 100% drop, which postdates all of their arguments that right now Al-Shabaab is being kept at bay, then there's no risk of any of their terms, only ours. And by the way, they conceded our links. Then the piracy stuff, there's no warning as to why piracy is key to Al-Shabaab funding. We would say that, for example, they get it from like Al-Qaeda. Go to their case. On climate, the title of Wednesday Ding is about REs in China means that there's the all cost. Second, Warrior is so negative. It is entirely speculative about lithium deposits. B, tons of responses as to why they can't solve and takes forever. Tech, education, international partnerships, infrastructure, political instability, and regional instability and regional development are all causes as to why affirming alone is insufficient to solve. Third, they have not read reverse causal solvency evidence. We've read the evidence that says non-recognition hinders progress, but not that recognition solves it. Four, laundry list of reasons to prevent mining. Hussein 24. Some of the mining sector hampered by challenges, frameworks, and policy, shortage of manpower, field mining and engineering, environmental health concerns, inadequate infrastructure development of roads. The only evidence on the capacity question you have to answer capacity and will. They might do the latter, but they're certainly not doing the former. Cut the rest of the responses on that. Go to governance. One, the new president's less stabilization and recognition efforts of alarming 24. The nearest deals uncertainties. Irresettling campaign, the opposition will take a more cautious approach to Euro-American change as the former diplomat look at recognition with less aggressive engagement and traditional channels. And second, Turkey succeeded in mediation means peace now and de-escalation solved. Agri 24. Turkey resolved the tensions between Ethiopia and Somalia talks only and break for the agreement, reduce the threat of conflict, prefer Aguilar. It postdates and tells you the endgame. Kagwana just says that some oppose, but not all of them. Cut the next analytic. 4, turn. Full recognition leads Somalia to invade Somaliland. Hassan 24. Somalia will go to war with Somaliland. Reactions, rooted in perception of robbery, submit Somaliland, slipping away of possibilities for Somaliland. Somaliland's further take the form of attempts to break Somaliland's majority on independence. Confrontation between Somaliland and Somalia risks regional involvement, which links into their impact about instability generally and how it was on time for recognition cause war. Instantly destabilizing acts that you need to describe haven't triggered conflict, meaning neither one or at best has a nebulous time frame. Cut the next card. Go to the the Abdi card is terrible for them because it said that the conflict concluded a year ago. They have no uniqueness. Go to trafficking. One, Garrett concedes piracy, historical rivalry, and political instability are the root causes, and it's about people leaving the Horn of Africa, which means recognition doesn't solve because not even in Africa. Second, solvency is low. Getting into Interpol and then having forces move into Somalia takes a huge amount of time. They also don't read reverse causal evidence. First, will solve Interpol can operate in and provide resources to countries that aren't members of it. Then cut the next part, go to slots. One, knowing the uniqueness about Houthi rebels and the links about pirates, they might be technically the same, but they aren't the same in the context of your evidence. Second, charged party finances effects of and spurs radicalization. Empirics prove Barbosa 09. Counter-terror operations backfire on radicalizing Muslims otherwise not inclined to support extremist group. Closing the Somali enterprise suspected terror financing affected thousands of Somali savings when the company's funds were frozen. For the turn, let's see, put in the card about fishing.
Oh, my Hawk 2. Let me get that for you. Card. Okay, there you go.
What is
Hey, you know what? Go.
Most of the war on Tennessee and under Canada are 150
Wait.
people that damage every single muscle living fish.
we counting that?
Yes.
Yeah. Sure, send it over. I don't know what that was. We're really counting that.
Alright, sure.
Send over the card.
Yeah.
We will.
And can you send Mark Doc for like everything because? And can you cut the cards you didn't read either? And you read a bunch of tags or something.
Yes, I know.
Thanks.
I know how to mark it off. Don't need a program.
I'll talk to you there. All right. Sonic 17. Evidence is being set. I don't want to de-highlight that. So just you see where the enter is? That's where we stop.
Alright, that's good. No, no.
Actually, we can start cross.
No. I need one.
Stop.
Yeah.
Somebody stop.
Probably some stuff.
Good.
I got the card, but not a marked off.
He's saying right.
Oh.
Yes.
Dollar recording.
Oh.
I did the bill last night.
Too busy prepping up the counterpoint.
No. Central portion.
That he's never gonna read again. Yeah.
Watch this back.
You're gonna watch this?
Probably.
I'm gonna pretend none of these rounds happened.
Okay, it's been sent.
Alright, thanks. Once we get to start, we'll probably take a look. Okay. We'll start reading prep. That will start. Taking
42 plus 35. If my math is correct, you have 25 plus 18 is 43 plus a minute.
we have 143.
143. I did the heavy lift.
Okay. Ready for cross?
Yeah, you want the first question?
Okay. Let's talk about your responses to trafficking.
Okay.
Okay. You tell me like that there's like piracy that causes trafficking anyways. Okay. Do we have to win that we solve all trafficking to win like our case?
We would say that it's just something you can't solve. Right? Like that's your evidence. Like, so what is the reason for trafficking? Your evidence says it is things such as piracy, historical rivalries, and political instability that are the root causes. If your evidence says these are the causes and you can't solve them, then there's nothing you solve for because this is the only uniqueness evidence that's been presented in the round, and it's by y'all. So I'm gonna take a question now.
If
So
there's some wait,
I'm gonna
do we
take a
have to solve for all trafficking to win our case?
look, the trafficking okay, so trafficking exists. How does trafficking happen? According to you, because this is the only evidence on the question, it happens because of piracy, historical rivalries, etc. All things you can't solve. I'm gonna take a question.
Okay.
Like,
no, wait.
dude, the uniqueness in the uniqueness evidence introduced in the round just, dude.
No,
Okay, like all your uniqueness evidence just describes all causes you can't solve. But it's been a minute. I'm taking. It's been a minute. Okay, so talk about on trafficking. Does extinction comes first?
No.
Okay, so which piece of evidence says that we should not look at extinction first, or like maths?
One weighing is we like nobody reads weighing in rebuttal. We're gonna read weighing in summary. But
Okay. That's fine.
Alright,
Let's
cool.
talk about the evidence you read on piracy. Why is, or like argument I should say, piracy. Why is it key to Al-Shabaab?
Oh yeah. So we tell you that like Al-Shabaab gets like funding mostly from piracy.
Which piece of evidence says it's mostly from piracy?
Well, we tell you that piracy is like the only like actual revenue source. This is like pretty logical. This is pretty logical if you think it out, right? Because like you don't really get money from killing people, and you need money to like buy guns and stuff like that. Which means that the only way that Al-Shabaab actually gets money is through like stealing and piracy and stuff like that. Which means that if you stop piracy, you also stop like Al-Shabaab.
Like they're a partner branch of Al Qaeda, which gives them money, so it's probably untrue.
Okay,
also
fine.
by
Then you just
government.
okay. One,
But
we
that's
dispute
fine.
that.
That's fine. Just, like,
okay, but
that's fine. You can have
that only just takes the issue one layer deeper. Al Qaeda still doesn't just like get money to appear out of thin air. They still need to get money from other affiliates, aka pirates and
outside the scope of your solvency.
Okay,
Al Qaeda
okay.
is not in the Horn of Africa, but yeah.
Can I have a question? Let's talk about bases.
Yeah.
So you tell me that it's a double turn because it's a double turn because I tell you bases are bad. So
and then you say affirming allows the base further. It's on the doc too.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Yeah.
Can you explain exactly how this is double turn?
Okay, so is basing good or bad?
Okay. No. We tell you that bases are
yeah, I know what you told me, and what you told me was that you double turned yourself. Like
we'll dispute that in speech. Okay. That's crossed.
Was it open or was it closed?
Gotcha. Alright, we'll take prep. That will start now.
The wiggle in between.
We have 32. No, 33.
Ready
Yeah.
for summary? My
Yeah.
house carded way.
We will be reading. Do you guys want that before?
Yeah, so what happened to sending cards before speech?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
We're all friends here. Fear not.
Okay.
All is well. I am so excited for this carded way. I would prefer if you could send it though.
It's set.
Lovely.
Been a long day, guys.
Oh goodness. Are you gonna make mine longer?
I'm planning it.
Okay.
Is everyone good? Okay, we're AF. We'll do AF when. On the turn in C2, they say Afghan Somalis can invade after recognition, but the evidence there's talking about the Ethiopian MOU. They didn't invade after that, proving that they don't have the capabilities to invade even post-AF. Then, also on Slocks, they return that seizing assets is bad. One, their evidence from 1998 is where the example it's referencing, so it's really all we see on that seizing assets become better, but also it's better to solve for the bigger risk at hand, not impacting smaller communities. And also it's a really bad example, but it's talking about like something that was intertwined in the community. These assets are international banks, but we're going for an argument, human trafficking extended right now. The number of migrants in Africa is tripling, increase the risk of human trafficking. Rising small, and we got smoking people in the Middle East, West Asian, lack of mentioning spawn can't get the technical need to share via home enforcement through Interpol. Technology can break up into criminal level, rescuing victims, increase cooperation with neighboring countries. Key to saving 9.2 million people enduring modern slavery within Africa. Human trafficking also causes interracial trauma and PTSD in 78% of women survivors. Then go to the responses first. They say recognition doesn't solve the root cause. If we solve human trafficking, that's going to solve the issues. Even if the piracy still exists within the region on a small scale, we're solving the human trafficking itself. That's good enough to solve the impacts we discussed. But second, they say it's the solve itself slow, it's hard to get to the region. There's no warranting why the solvency slow. We'd say right when they get recognition, we can put Interpol because other regions of Africa and use switching forces also to empirically been fast areas like South America. Then they say the scores are already solving. No, the scores are not already solving. The other regions of Africa is not important because it's not a unique reason. Because Somaliland's the unique reason they go into the Arabian Peninsula as an example, which is where most of this trafficking is going. Then go to the Wang debate one. We take 1% for every day, utilizing calculus probability. We see the minuscule chance of these big impacts to show the acquire the most important impact chances for taking transport, taking the tortoise, and non-zero chance of killing us. Extend the door opposed to it. Also shutters 21 plus at recent out to external standards, coming extremely biased, racialized, sexualized, Western environment, the crossbook, which is visible impressionist. Source 21 plus at excellent risk scholars within mostly white Western countries and well-funded foundations, universities. It's ignoring the scholarship, extreme violence, preferring instead of jumping speculating and spectacular scenarios. Threes probability 1% and 1% risk are bad first no risk calculus second risk is focused on catastrophic to make real life violence even more real 999. Short violence is really better than ubiquitous social structures then seems ordinary. Which plus we must flip our decision calculus, prioritize the outgroups and as Vision 96 finds that plus making sure look to size most vulnerable. It's an independent reason to vote for us and all the research are biased. Also, we outweigh magnitude because we have infinite scope, intergenerational harvest or parse down generation to generation. Even if the time frame of our scope is not as much, we still say on that it's more people being affected in the long term, but also we outweigh in time frame. You don't know when their scenario actually triggers post-AF, despite the MOU, for example, being triggered on like a probability weighing, but more importantly, or happened right when you put Interpol in the region. If we have one person say that's solving long-term impact, so to their case, I'm basing. What is extent that your uniqueness is bad? It's talking about like not specific to Somaliland, the US. It just says Somaliland wants it. At that point, they can't go for this argument, even if they win the double turn, go for terror. On terror, we'll extend the fact that current counterterrorism is really bad right now. They say overall their evidence takes it into account. But what their evidence doesn't take into account is that counterterrorism in itself, the region that the way we're doing it right now is on that bad, which is why even if their evidence said is small dips right now on that, it has an upward trajectory, which they can see. But more importantly, we'll go for the turn that's going to enable security cooperation post-AF to basically consider that way it solves all over the region. That they can't just jump from one country, Somalia, to another country. That on net also terrorism. That's considered their last speech. We'll also extend this as defense on their argument that also as a whole makes terrorism worse. You should probably affirm just to make think the probability is for like a better trade-off. They say it's on that good. If we read evidence that it's on that bad, that means Ethiopia's gonna fail in the long term.
We have a minute left on it. Well, less than a minute, but anyway. It was indeed prep. You know, we like to keep things reciprocal here. We're gonna send a card.
Yes.
Can Lily send it?
Where's the card?
Buddy,
I have no idea.
you cut the card.
Oh.
Well, when you receive it. Okay. Lily has sent it, we know when you have received it. Right.
That's got it. Yeah, we just got it. We'll.
We are globally initiative. Ready? Alrighty. Seventh argument, Al-Shabaab. The AU counterterrorism mission in Africa is keeping a fragile stalemate in Somalia against Al-Shabaab per Robinson. Post-affirmation. Somalia lashes out at countries because of their anti-Somali land stance, thus distracting their army from combating Al-Shabaab. That's Phillips. That then creates a massive rise of Al-Shabaab in Somalia. At that point, they have two responses. The first thing that they say is that, look, it's getting better. No, the Phillips evidence, that security solved now. The Phillips evidence that we read is 10 years more recent on it and disproves that. At that point, the uniqueness debate flows negative. But even then, the second thing they say is, why is it on that bed? And then they provide this awesome example. No, the awesome example is one, zero more extended in summary. And second, we would say that there's no comparative done on what is actually happening. The only evidence in this round talking about what is actually happening on the ground with Al-Shabaab, if they are increasing or if they're decreasing or if they're getting better or if they're getting worse, is our Robinson evidence, which finds that right now the awesome mission is keeping them on the brink. At that point, let's specifically talk about the weighing debate. They tell you a couple of things. The first thing they tell you is that extinction calculus is racist and sexist. Sure. We'll concede that. However, they don't read any drop the debate award, so we're just going to kick the argument so that we're no longer engaging in that scholarship, and we're instead going to say, look to the most marginalized group. That is their warranting. At that point, if you are only looking towards the most marginal group, you are going to vote for the negative. Here's our warranting. You have an entire international police force to focus on trafficking. The amount of investment that goes into preventing trafficking via Interpol is insane. It is far more than the amount of investment that goes into preventing Al-Shabaab's rise in Somalia specifically. If you buy that you prioritize the most vulnerable, you prioritize those in Somalia currently being affected by violence. Even then, here's our, we'll read a card on that. Global Initiative ND. Al-Shabaab, practically recruiting child soldiers and overstating sexual slavery. Children are often forced into labor. Those who are initially displaced, belong to marginalized ethnic minorities or live in Al-Shabaab's territory are the most vulnerable. At that point, if your only role in this round, if your framing for this round is to prioritize the most vulnerable group, you are going to be voting for the negative. But even then, let's talk more about their weighing. They tell you that they have infinite scope and they're going to create a long-term impact. Sure, we would say that having a war, having a massive insurgency and mass terrorism in your country, that's definitely a long-term impact that has lasting effects because that hurts the economy, that hurts your status, that hurts your ability to escape from poverty. That is all stuff that is intergenerational as well. At that point, you are going only for that. You're only looking towards who is the most marginalized. But even then, let's talk about their arguments, because they're definitely not winning them. Specifically, on the argument about trafficking, they've conceded two things. First, remember Willie's analysis from the argument that they read in rebuttal. We have 29 other bases in the region, in the Horn of Africa region. That is the evidence that they read. However, we would say that insofar as there are already 29 other bases in the region that they say is hot for human trafficking, that means that you don't need to create another base. You don't need to have Somaliland specifically, because we have 29 other places that Interpol can go into. But even then, they've also conceded Willie's analysis analysis that Interpol doesn't need you to be a specific country in order to go in. Like they have considered the analysis that specifically Interpol is able to engage with Somaliland. Somaliland is able to engage with Interpol for anti-human trafficking practices. It's been done with anti-piracy efforts. It's been done with things like trade deals. Like at that point, Interpol probably is able to solve.
Okay, sounds good. You're cross.
Yes.
So
Will this cross be grand?
it will be grand. First question.
Yeah.
Okay. How does Interpol work? Do you actually know? I'm just
I don't.
curious. So do you want me to explain it? I assume.
Not really.
Like rereading the case.
I mean,
I'll
like, I don't
explain it.
really
Just
want
for
you
the
to.
judge's sake, just to clear something up, I'll explain it.
Oh wow.
Way
Assuming the
Interpol
judges
works-
don't know.
Yeah.
A little
well,
mean.
I would hope they
It's
know
okay.
what bring our
You wanna-
evidence, but
You want to
the
explain?
way, yeah, sure. The way Interpol works is they go into a recognized country who has a formalized police force, and they work
Which
with
line
the.
of evidence has that?
I'm not even kidding. We've been since case. I'll read the exact wording out too. There's like a bunch of things that say.
Can I ask you a question really quickly while you're searching?
Chapter
Valley?
11, Lester
Okay.
23,
No.
Yeah, those are like names and dates.
Chapter 11.
Line.
No.
Chapman 11.
Yeah.
My bad.
Like read me a
I
line.
just
next
want to ask you
to
a question really quickly.
Interpol recognizes
Okay.
urgent need to facilitate interstate, not in other countries, interstate cooperation.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is in the highlighted
that. Wait,
part.
so
of
they
it.
already want to do it.
Can I just put something out there?
Wait.
Well, I think it's kind of mean to talk over someone.
You guys
Also, I have
can do this
fish
all-
memory and I would like to say my question before I forget it. 10-second memory. Anyway, specifically, what is a treaty?
I'm sure you can tell me what a treaty is.
I would like you to tell me.
I don't know.
No? Okay, sure. Would you say that a treaty is something like a trade treaty, a security treaty, something that happens between two nations, two states?
Depends on the treaty, but yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Somaliland has participated in those. That is bypassed
No.
the necessary.
No.
Whoa.
Interpol.
Somaliland can't participate in like
Yeah.
a major treaty.
Yeah,
because,
major
like,
treaty
you're-
they can't,
yeah,
which is
there's-
what you've conceded is
Okay.
that our evidence verbatim says they are
What region is key?
unable.
What
Wait,
region
wait.
is specifically key for
I'm just
human
gonna
trafficking?
read.
No,
I'm just gonna
you
read the
understand your
evidence because it's
evidence,
like
you
kind of
can read
frustrating
too.
right now.
You're being a
Non-recognition
little
means that
frustrated right now.
Somaliland stands outside the mechanisms for regulating these flows of people. Somaliland provides a national departure point for trafficking people into the Arabian Peninsula, which is the unique
Arabian
reason why.
Peninsula?
Which is a unique reason why.
The
it's
Arabian
free.
Peninsula is key.
Yeah. for-
Lovely. You can take a
No,
question.
and-
No, wait. I'm not even done speaking.
Oh,
Somaliland is denied membership of Interpol and other mechanisms for tracing criminal and cross-national crime.
Yes.
If our Cardin analysis says that, and your response is Interpol doesn't need to be in the country, how does that
Our
solve?
response, but
Don't worry.
Your verbatim last speech was Interpol does not need to be in a
It's like
specific
if you
country.
can flow the other one.
The
But
other response was 29 bases solved. Those
Yes.
are US bases in other parts of Africa. If you can see it in our evidence that says we need to
so
be in the
is
country to solve.
Somaliland the only country that's
Our
near the
Our
Arabian
evidence,
Peninsula?
yeah,
Our evidence
no, our
finds
evidence
Somaliland
finds
is
it's the
the only
main
way of
route,
solving
it's the
it.
main route to go to the Arabian Peninsula, which
so why
is
can't
where
you
this
just go to
mass
Somalia?
9.2 million people are being trapped in Africa are going through.
Dude, they go there. They just do it for Somalia. It's like the same region.
No, because
No,
Somaliland, again, this is another frontline news, which that Somaliland refuses help of international organizations historically. It's another reason why you should prefer us on this question, but
They
that's
have not, but it's okay.
we get it.
I
Okay.
do too.
Yeah. 47 left. Let's start that now. And the 600 infinite squared ones. Infinite squared.
Infinite.
Order will be trafficking, weighing, their case.
Yes.
It will be that.
Yes. But you technically, wait, no, I'm not gonna.
Can I give speech, please?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize my place. was
Sorry,
in
I'm
there,
kind of
so-
tired. I know, like.
All is well,
yeah.
all is well. We all make mistakes.
Extend trafficking. Number of migrants in Africa tripled, increasing risk of human trafficking. Trafficking is risky in Africa, with Somaliland being the hub of victims smuggled into the Middle East. Lack of recognition means Somaliland can't gain the tech carry needed for a hub enforcement through Interpol. These technology break to deter criminal networks, risking victims, and increase cooperation with neighboring countries. Key to saving 9.2 million people who have been trafficking causes intergenerational trauma. PTSD is reported in 78% of survivors. They extend two responses. First, they extend that there's 29 other bases. What they have missed is the front line that Somaliland is key, because Somaliland is the only place that can solve for the routing. They also say that it doesn't solve for other countries. No, our Ghanaian evidence is fine. That it's really good and finds that Somaliland is the key country that finds this. At that point, also extend the structural violence way. We tell you that you should prioritize the marginalized people first, and you should prioritize the people that don't have other intervening actors to solve for it, and that we have the best time frame, because the moment that you affirm, that means that Interpol is able to go in, but you have no idea how long it's going to take for terror to actually go up. Also, we have infinite scope because it's passed down intergenerationally. On their way. They tell you that they're also going to that they're also going to link it because terror isn't solved for, because Interpol has way more money. That's definitely not true insofar as there's been a giant war on terror, and there's been so many great powers funding so many great terror funding wars against terrorism, which means that there's still more money going to terrorism than to Interpol. And Interpol can also solve back for terrorism, which means that you should probably which means that trafficking is probably a bit better to vote for. Then they also read this new impact on Al-Shabaab affecting trafficking. One, this is definitely the new impact. But then, even if you stop Al-Shabaab, you don't solve for the other people who are doing trafficking, which means that we're the only people who can solve for the root cause and more trafficking. And at that point, on Al-Shabaab. Extend the turn on security coordination. She just clean concedes this in her speech. That's when you affirm that it allows more security coordination with Somalia. That's on net better because it allows for coordination across the entire region instead of just Somaliland. Also, extend the uniqueness to the counter terror fails. That was all in time.
Okay. It's okay. Sorry, I'm just tired.
Yeah. I'm tired too.
Okay. Really? You ready? You got this, bud.
Yeah, okay. You bring off the Al-Shabaab argument. Robertson 24 is dropped as the current risk of Al-Shabaab taking over the state is capped by Amazon, but the risk still exists. The Phillips evidence is what pushes over the brink. They have dropped that when you do the affirmative, it kicks Amazon out and gets sidetracked. They tell you that we dropped the turn. No, we didn't, because Alexis makes it really clear that uniqueness controls the direction of the link. We have made the analysis that right now Al-Shabaab will not collapse the Somali government, but because Amazon keeps it at the brink. Insofar as that's the case, they don't have risk of offense off the turn. Only we do, and our link is conceded. Let's talk about the weighing debate. We would say that we rewrite because the global initiative evidence is dropped. The reason they're trafficked is because they are often displaced at mass levels and impoverished. When Al-Shabaab takes over your town, displacement and impoverishment skyrockets because they collapse local governance and take a lot of people's money. It is conceded that Interpol cannot solve 100% of cases, which is why, even though Interpol intervenes in almost every country, trafficking still exists, which means that you create more instances than you can solve for, which means that we are winning the amount of scope on the trafficking argument, and it's game over here when both of this analysis is conceded cleanly out of Alexis' summary. They say that it wasn't, it was. Just flow better.
The most vulnerable way, go.
That's what?
The most vulnerable, go.
And we would say that implicates the most vulnerable, the same group that they implicate, and we would say that they dropped the analysis that even that Somali, like the people in Somaliland are not directly helped when policy making in
like Middle East.
the war on terror was like the Middle East, Horn of Africa, historically just neglected.
Interpol has a ton of money.
And Interpol has a ton of money, implicates to every country. So if you really just want to play this race to the bottom game, you're voting for us anyways. On their case. Look, this is what their evidence says. It tells you that they're going into the Gulf of Aden using Somaliland. However, that neglects the analysis that there are multiple ways into the Gulf of Aden besides Somaliland. For example, Somalia, all these other countries, which means that when they're trafficked into the Gulf of Aden, even if they're unable to stop them in Somaliland, they can still use the neighboring countries such as Djibouti, Ethiopia, Eritrea, etc. and stop back anyways. Insofar as they've also conceded that we already have bases and these countries are all recognized, that means there's solvency in the status quo. They have not made an argument as to why Somaliland uniquely is key, just that the region is key. We would say that if they're just really getting trafficked to Yemen in the Gulf of Aden, then that means that other countries can solve.
You're almost.
Boys. Wow. I appreciate that.